A disclaimer: I am not a child psychologist. I am just sharing today from my own personal experience, my own journey, how at times as parents we can overlook signs, and they can be sexual conducts that are happening under our nose by our children, whether siblings or cousins at times, and also not in terms of gender. Sometimes it can be two girl cousins or two boy cousins, and where you would be more comfortable as a parent and think that that can't happen because I'm just living at home, my daughter with her cousin, my son with his cousin, or my daughter with her brother, and you think of like nothing like that would happen in such an instance. But there's been so many cases, and this happened also in my own family growing up, where you would find that older cousins would initiate this, where they would teach us, the younger ones, how sex was being done. I think maybe because they were being exposed by older people, whether they were being molested or raped, or they were being they were exposed to pornography and masturbation. So these things can happen under our nose as parents, because we take them, we can at times think of that maybe it's not going to happen, or take it lightly and overlook the signs, and these things happen. And I think it happens where you would think that it's not going to happen. And sometimes children are not children. Sometimes children can show signs. Like for instance, myself, I was showing signs. All of a sudden, I withdrew. All of a sudden, I would cry for hours on end and not know, or not for absolute no reason, no apparent reason. I would just cry and burst into tears, and I couldn't explain why I was crying. No one paid attention to that. And then later on, I would, now when I had reconnected with my mother, I would just become cheeky and rude and angry and just talk back to her. So these are signs that I was showing, because since I didn't know how to deal with all that was happening to me. And we can also check the behavioral change in our children. All of a sudden now they are quiet. All of a sudden now they are very angry. They are withdrawn, or they are mixing with friends that they never used to, or maybe bad crowd. All of a sudden now they want to look beautiful, or they don't think they are beautiful. All these things that we need to be on the lookout for, and initiate these conversations with our children. As much as sometimes it is very uncomfortable, especially if you grew up in a household where this was not done, it was not, sex was not being talked about, also if maybe you went through a similar encounter and you don't know where to begin, and also maybe you fear that when you talk about it, it's like you are giving them permission now. But it's important at least that you know that when they go out there in the world, you've discussed this with them, and they know that they can come to you when they felt someone made them feel uncomfortable, or something has happened to them. then at least they know that because mom or dad has spoken to me about this, that means now I can come to them with whatever I'm experiencing that is not, I'm not feeling comfortable with. And I don't think that also parents must beat themselves up if they have overlooked or this has happened under their nose and they did not see this coming. I don't think they can beat themselves up and think that they have failed, or they failed their child, or they are the worst parent ever. And also I don't think our children also, when they have done such a thing, that they are now bad children, or they are a lost cause. I also don't believe that. I believe that we can, each and every situation that we go through, there's a lesson for us to learn, and also that we can always turn that bad situation into a good story, that we can be witnesses, or we can testify by sharing our story, so that we help other people prevent such the same occurrence, or also try to reduce at least the impact thereof if this already has taken place. So I believe that there is power in our story, and in some instances the children can just act normal as if nothing has happened, especially if they are siblings and they are doing this. You'll find that now all of a sudden they are so attached to one another. You don't think of it, you don't think there's anything wrong with it. They are so attached to one another. They always want to spend time together. They are so, as much as we don't want to be so paranoid and not trust our children and not trust ourselves in our decisions, but we need to, I believe we need to listen to our sixth sense, and we need to be present. As much as we have our busy lives, other parents are working maybe more than one job, come back home tired, we hardly spend time with our children, but I believe that we need to make time for them and listen to our sixth sense. When you sense that there's something, even if you ask them and at the first approach, or when their first response is there's nothing wrong, I'm okay, don't just stop there. Continue to engage them from a loving and a caring manner. I don't believe that we should be forceful, but from a loving, and you care for them, you want the best for them. So yes, we need to, so that we are able to get to the bottom of it. Because I believe if there are siblings, there's incest now, they can be comfortable with what they are doing, and you can happen under your nose for some time, and you don't see it. So it's wise that we pray for our children. We pray for discernment. We pray for God to go ahead of us, because He can see ahead, He can see around the corner, He can see over the fence. We give them over to Him. We pray that He covers them. We pray that He protects them, that He shows us what is going on in their hearts, and He also can teach us how to, and give us the wisdom in terms of how to approach that situation. It's very important that we pray for our children. I believe that we are generations that we are lazy to pray. We are very lazy to pray as parents in our days, of which our minds are saying now, because our great grandparents prayed over us. They prayed over us. That's why we have the sanity now, and that's why there are things that didn't happen to us, because they prayed for us. So parents, please pray for your children. Please pray that God covers them and protects them, because we are not with them 24/7 all the time. I hope this video helps. Thank you. Till next time. Bye.